Well, if I may comment, the issues about internal democracy here, you bring the stuff where you're talking about leadership. Now, the party primaries so far across board have had discrepancies, have had disagreements. Those who are saying we're going to fight it by all means available to us and all of that. But let's look at that. How would that affect that person who eventually wins the election, seeing that the primaries that brought him or her out were irregular in some ways? He now becomes a leader, so to speak. How would it affect his performance? How would that work out?
Well, we are agreeing with the person making that allegation. Many of these allegations are spurious. Now, it's our culture here that nobody wins, everybody loses election. We accuse that somebody is rigged it or is a sham. But let that person, the same person who is making that argument, if he wants to win the election, he will not say that.
The question, what I'm trying to say is that the primaries have the irregularities, the internal democracy system, so the losers complain. But now those that emerge as winners or emerge as flag bearers or candidates or winners of the elections, would the internal system affect his performance or her performance as a leader?
You mean the system that brought him into office? Listen, anybody, the parties have designed a process now to sort of establish the seriousness of people, to rule out any flippant or unserious candidate. They do it through means that people have a lot of problems with, and that is, putting money on it. Asking, in the case of APC now, requiring an aspirant to pay, I think, 27 million.
Now let's talk about the PDP. I love when I talk about politics. I like people. You're a member of the PDP. Let's relate it to the PDP. In the case of the PDP, Mr. Ashintoko.
Excuse me, this man, I'm responding to his question. He has not. Listen, whether I can use any party to establish a logic and
okay, let's use the PDP there.
No, I choose to use PAPC. You can't tell me, you can't dictate to me.
No, I can. You know why? You do the thing, you're a journalist, because this discussion, I'll tell you, this discussion is not a discussion that would require someone responding, which is the APC, and we don't want it to go that way. This discussion is strictly on what
I'm saying is public domain. Can you control the fact?
We don't want it to be about the APC.
No. You can't dictate to
Mr. Ashintoko, this is not about another political party. I'm not dictating to you.
Yes.
We will run the show. We are the outcome. So we should let you know what this show is about. It's not about the APC.
It's not exactly. It's not about the APC. It's a general principle, and I choose to use an instance to make the point. What you should be worried about,
being a member of the PDP, we say we don't want
any true fact about APC should not be mentioned by somebody from the other party.
If we have an APC in the studio, is it quite
that's not
a different issue?
No, I didn't. That's listen. This is the problem with our society.
No,
you cannot tell me how to reason.
If
you find the fact, you should be interested in the fact. If I said 27 million, everybody knows. You can say no. It's not that information is not correct. You shouldn't be telling me not to use an example.
And I'm saying that we should go back to the PDP. Let's look at internal democracy in your political party. It suits us better that way. The APC can come and talk about internal democracy using their own example.
Yeah. And in any case, that was not what you were saying. As we were talking about system as a general concept. You are the one who reduced it to PDP or APC. Nobody said that. I want to get that clear. Now, if you are talking about internal democracy within PDP, as I said, both parties are holding their primaries concurrently. Anyway, there's nothing that is happening in your party that is peculiar to that party. You find almost a similar experience between the two parties. But what I'm saying is that should not be an excuse for an unprepared leadership. The primaries, by the time you offer yourself for the primaries, you must have a background. You must have pedigree. You must have something that people can refer to or relate to. So it's not a point, you are not an unknown quantity. Right? So that is it. I mean, it's a question of judging you suitable or not suitable for a position. So
irrespective of how you came out, it's about your suitability as a leader.
Pardon?
Irrespective of how the person came out, your suitability as a leader will not be in question.
regardless of how we came about. Well, flawed processes have produced good leaders. You know, we hear this cynical thing about saying the end justifies the means. I will not recommend a flawed process. But what I'm saying is that even when you are presenting yourself for primaries, right, before the primaries is conducted, whether it's going to be flawed or not, there should be that presumption in the first place. You are offering yourself to come forward to become governor through primaries and so on and so forth, that you have something that to give, and you are asking us to say, you are asking the public and your party, right, to, on the basis of that, present you as a candidate. I'm saying before getting to the stage of whether a process or the primaries is flawed or not, there must be a way of assessing you. There must be a way of, you have to tell us. There's nobody who goes to primaries, even the parties. You fill a form, right, in which some minimum standards are expected. After filling a form, you sell yourself to party members at the primaries on the basis of what you have done and what you can offer. So even before it comes to the stage of the process ever being flawed or correct, your reputation and pedigree is already up for assessment anyway.
I'm still concerned about the question of the status quo, which you say you don't seem to be very optimistic of the fact that things can change. And you say that it's more about the structure. And even though you've answered the question as to, why it's difficult to get things back to what they were if we're going to move forward, do you ever see the prices of oil? A lot of people say it's a good thing that we're going to be experiencing what it is that we're experiencing. Maybe it will get us to be a bit more creative. Are you optimistic about how that is going to affect the structure of this country, the politics of oil?
Yes, definitely, because it was one of the ironically, it was one of the major facilitators or facility of the present system, of what we have now. It was a federalism shattering. It shattered one of those things that made federalism in Nigeria a bit awkward, right? If you are making so much money, right, from crude oil when the price shot up, right? If we are to follow fiscal federalism, in which, let's say, the derivation formula of 50% to the producing area, we are going to have such a lopsided economy, right, that is not sustainable. So we are now saying whether the reverse now will bring in adversity concentrates the mind, and we are compelled, of course, now to do things prudently, to be better managers of what you have. I think that is a very peculiar way for society to get its acts right. I shouldn't wish that for us. We shouldn't need to go through. But you now find instances in many states in the country right now are unable to pay salaries. So eventually we will get to a stage. If this oil dip gets worse than this, we are going to get to a stage in which we will now have to call to question the existence of those states, of the structure that you have.
Well, I think it's a discussion we definitely will stay on, especially this is the political season. A whole lot of discussions will come looking at the political system and, of course, our need for us to strengthen internal democracy and the question of getting our leadership right. We hope that we should be able to bring you back to the studios. We're so out of time now. Mr. Akin Oshutoku is the former Director General of the News Agency of Nigeria, and he's also a member of the People's Democratic Party. So as daily, well, this is where we say thank you so very much for being such a nice company. I'm Sulaiman Alede.
Oh, thank you for watching. I'm Maokwe Ogun.
I'm Nell Toby. Thank you.